Hey guys, I'm back for another video tutorial on chocolate soufflés. Okay, so first things first, we are going to go through our ingredients. We have measuring spoons, chocolate, eggs, vanilla extract, salt, sugar, and unsalted butter. And this is my makeshift version of a double boiler. I am now preheating the oven to 375 degrees. So now I'm going to make the base for our chocolate soufflé. And so in my double boiler, in the bottom pot, I have a simmering water. And in the mixing bowl, there's 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And that's just melting while I measure out my 16 ounces of chocolate. And these are bittersweet chocolate chips. You can also use normal chocolate bark, but do not use candy bars because they melt a different way and they have a little bit of extra cream in them, which is not what you want. And so here I am just pouring tablespoon by tablespoon. Even though it's measured in ounces, I did the conversion beforehand just to make sure I'm 100% accurate. And while this is going, the butter, as you can see, is melting, and so are the chocolate chips. So once you're done pouring in all those chocolate chips, you want to immediately stir it with a flat spatula, which I am doing right now. And as you can see, I'm also breaking up the butter because the chocolate is melting a lot faster than the butter, and I don't want the chocolate to burn because it does not have a lot of liquid in it. So I'm just going to chop up that butter so it melts even faster than normal. And so the chocolate gets nice, ooey, and gooey. Okay, so now I am making the second part to our chocolate base, which is the egg and sugar part. So right now I'm separating the eggs and the whites and the yolks. And so in the small glass container, I'm just putting all the whites in there because I'm going to use that for my meringue later. And I'm just pouring all those egg yolks back into that green bowl over there so I can whisk it with some sugar. So now I am pouring in 1/4 scoop of sugar into this egg mixture, and since the scoop is really big, I use a smaller measuring spoon to pour the rest of the sugar in and make sure I fill it up all the way to the top. A way to do that is by shaking it, or you can use the spoon that you scooped the extra sugar in and you just flatten that up top. That is actually a recommended way just because it's more accurate. And then I begin to whisk it all together. And the reason you want to combine this together, and as you can see, it looks like pasty right now, like you would be making a pâte à choux, or not a pâte à choux, a custard, but you're actually gonna whip this even longer so it becomes a super silky white. Or not white, it's really lighter yellow with some ribbons, and that is what you should see when you're done at the end of this. Okay, so now I'm taking that yellow, the egg and sugar mixture, and I'm mixing it with my chocolate, which is already mixed in with vanilla and salt. You can put the vanilla mixture in when you put the butter, but it's recommended you do it outside so the vanilla flavor doesn't burn off. And if you do burn your chocolate, it just smells really bad and stinks up your whole house. Highly not recommended. So after the chocolate is kind of cold, like after 2 minutes you take it off the double boiler, you can put the salt and vanilla extract in. And so now I'm going to mix the chocolate part with the egg part, so it becomes a really rich chocolate instead of and it'll add more flavor into the chocolate's flavor profile. So as you can see now, I am mixing all the way, trying to get all the chocolate infused with that egg so it doesn't look very chunky. So now on to what I think the favorite part of the souffle is, and it's the meringue. And this meringue is different than a lot of meringues because this isn't just egg whites, it's egg whites and sugar. And if you look at the bottom, you can see that white little paste stuff. That's not sugar, that's cream of tartar. And this helps the egg whites to not be over whipped in case you do over whip them. And it makes sure it also helps when you fold the chocolate into the meringues, it doesn't the meringues don't fall, and it expands the air bubbles even more, so it becomes super duper fluffy and is just more wonderful and lighter to eat in your mouth. And so as you can see, my mixer is currently on a medium speed, and I immediately got right into that medium speed just to immediately start whipping as much air as I possibly can into those meringues. And as you can see now, this is from like 2 minutes later. I have not added the sugar in quite yet, but I will really soon. And you know this isn't done yet because it's not extremely glossy and there's no shine to it yet. And here we go. This is the final meringue with sugar added, and as you can see, it's a lot brighter white, and this is the type of meringue you want. And I am now currently turning on my mixer to high just to make sure I add as much possible. So one of my tips and tricks is to use the wire, and you want to pull it out, and you should see stiff peaks, and that's when you're able to hold the whisk upside down and the egg whites stay straight up. So now I'm going to take a second type of spatula, and I'm just going to fold my egg whites in with my chocolate. And this is extremely crucial part because you want to do this by hand, and you really should only be doing it by hand, because if you use a stand mixer or a mixer or whisk, you're just going to crush the air out of all of the egg whites that you've worked so hard on. So it's better to just go in a folding motion, as you will soon see. And this is how you infuse much of that chocolate and mix the chocolate with the meringues together. And so as you can see, I'm making a folding motion, and the chocolate's a little bit harder than I'd like it to be in this video. But it's okay, it still works. It's just gonna take me a little bit longer, which means my meringues aren't going to rise as much, and they might fall and collapse a little bit faster than usual. And so as you can see, I'm going from bottom to top, slowly and extremely gently folding in those egg whites and the chocolate. This is the hardest part about making a souffle, because most people tend to whip the egg whites and chocolate together really, really quickly with the hand mix, and that actually just makes soup. It just makes a normal chocolate cake, which you absolutely do not want. And so now, as you can see from the bottom of your top of your screen, filled these ramekins up with the chocolate meringue mixture all the way. These are 6-ounce ramekins, and this is what they look like when they're baked. And right now I am currently just sprinkling confectioner's sugar over them just to make them look picture perfect. And thank you guys so much for coming with me on this amazing journey, and I hope I will see you guys soon and make another video and show you one more of my baking adventures. Thank you. Bye. Please don't forget to subscribe below. See you guys.